Khabib Nurmagomedov is known as the Eagle, the man who retired undefeated, who conquered the UFC lightweight division without ever tasting defeat. To many fans, he is the definition of discipline, humility, and dominance. But behind the glory, behind the aura of perfection, there are struggles most people never see. Struggles that go beyond the cage, into his personal life, his faith, his family, and the crushing weight of expectation. This is not the story of a fighter's wins and losses. It's the untold side of Khabib's journey. And I promise you, if you stay with me until the end, you'll see him in a way you've never seen before. Khabib was born in 1988 in the mountains of Dagestan, a region in southern Russia marked by rugged terrain and harsh realities. His upbringing was anything but easy. Life in Dagestan was shaped by poverty, political instability, and a culture that demanded toughness from an early age. For many young men in his region, fighting was not just sport. It was survival, a way to channel aggression, to avoid trouble, and to earn respect. Khabib's father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, was a former military man, wrestler, and combat sambo coach. He saw fighting not just as a profession, but as a discipline that could mold character. From the moment Khabib could walk, he was immersed in that world. Training was strict, sometimes brutal, but it instilled in him resilience that would one day make him a champion. But childhood was not glamorous. Khabib has often spoken about the lack of resources in Dagestan. Training mats were worn down, gyms were freezing cold, equipment was scarce. Yet, the fighters had something money couldn't buy: relentless work ethic and hunger. His family was not wealthy, and like many in his village, they had to endure financial hardship. He has recalled walking long distances to training, pushing himself despite fatigue and injuries, and learning that comfort was a luxury not many could afford. These early struggles hardened him, but they also left scars. He learned to suppress pain, to hide weakness, to keep emotions bottled up. That lesson would follow him for life. One of the most defining relationships in Khabib's life was with his father, Abdulmanap. To the outside world, Abdulmanap was the wise, stoic coach who built champions from nothing. But for Khabib, he was much more: mentor, disciplinarian, protector, and the constant reminder of the values of honor, respect, and sacrifice. Training under his father was not optional. It was a way of life. Khabib has admitted that at times it was overwhelming: the pressure to succeed, the expectations to carry not only his family's name, but also the pride of Dagestan on his shoulders. And yet, the bond between father and son was unbreakable. Every victory Khabib had inside the cage, he credited to his father. Every setback, every struggle, he turned to him for guidance. Which makes what happened later in his career all the more heartbreaking. As Khabib rose through the ranks of MMA, his life became more complicated. On the surface, he was unstoppable. His style, relentless pressure, suffocating grappling, unbreakable cardio, left opponents broken and fans in awe. But behind closed doors, there were challenges fans rarely saw. Injuries were a constant problem. He has spoken about recurring knee problems, torn ligaments, broken ribs, and surgeries that nearly derailed his career. At one point, he considered retirement early because of how badly his body was breaking down. These injuries weren't just physical pain. They carried mental weight. Imagine being undefeated, with the world expecting perfection, but waking up every day wondering if your body would betray you. That anxiety was real, and it took a toll. The public saw Khabib as calm and confident, but internally, The mental struggle was enormous. He has admitted to the crushing stress of making weight, something that haunted him throughout his UFC career. Cutting down to 155 pounds was brutal for a man who walks much heavier. Dehydration, weakness, dizziness, he endured them all. In fact, before UFC 209, Khabib was rushed to the hospital due to complications from a weight cut. That night, fans only saw a cancelled fight. But what they didn't see was Khabib on a hospital bed, barely able to move, questioning if his career was over. The truth is, his dominance came at a price most fans never realized. And then came the darkest chapter, the loss of his father. In 2020, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov died from complications related to COVID-19. For Khabib, this was more than losing a parent. It was losing the foundation of his life, the man who had shaped everything he was. He described the pain as unbearable, saying that, without his father, fighting no longer made sense. Imagine being at the top of the world, holding a championship belt, millions admiring you, but feeling completely empty inside. That's what Khabib carried into the cage when he fought Justin Gaethje at UFC 254. Most fans saw the dominant performance, the triangle choke, the perfect ending. What they didn't see was the tears that came immediately after, the raw grief that spilled out as he announced his retirement. It wasn't just about stepping away from the sport. It was about losing the anchor of his life. Life beyond the cage has brought its own challenges. Khabib has spoken openly about the difficulty of adjusting to life after fighting. For years, his identity was the fighter, the man preparing for war. But when the wars stopped, what remained? He has admitted that it was not easy to find balance. Coaching young fighters helped. He threw himself into building the next generation, guiding talents like Islam Makhachev. But even in coaching, there is pressure. He carries not only his own legacy, but the dreams of Dagestan's future champions. The responsibility weighs heavily, and at times he has hinted at the mental exhaustion it brings. Another struggle that often goes unnoticed is the cultural burden Khabib carries. In Dagestan, he is more than an athlete. He is a symbol of national pride, a role model for millions. Every move he makes, every word he speaks, is scrutinized. He has admitted that the constant expectations can feel suffocating. He is expected to be perfect, as a fighter, as a Muslim, as a leader, as a son, as a man. But no one is perfect. Khabib himself has said that living up to this image is one of the hardest battles he fights. Behind the calm exterior, there are moments of doubt, of questioning, of wondering whether he can truly live up to what everyone demands of him. Faith has always been Khabib's refuge, but even here, he has spoken of struggle. Staying grounded while being one of the most famous athletes in the world is not easy. Temptations are everywhere, from fame to money to distractions. He has admitted that the fight to remain humble, to stay true to his values, is ongoing. It is not something he conquered once. It is something he must fight daily. That battle is invisible to fans, but for Khabib, it is perhaps the most important one of all. And yet, through all of this, Khabib continues to show resilience. He has turned his pain into purpose. He invests in his community, mentors young fighters, and speaks openly about the importance of discipline, family, and faith. He does not hide behind excuses or portray himself as a victim. Instead, he uses his struggles to inspire others, to remind people that even the strongest warriors are human. The truth is, Khabib's untold story is not about secret scandals or hidden controversies. It is about the human side of greatness. the injuries, the grief, the crushing weight of expectation, the silent battles with doubt and loss. Fans see the dominance, the undefeated record, the highlight reels. But behind the cage, there is a man who has suffered deeply, who has fought battles no referee ever saw, who has endured heartbreak that no championship belt can heal. And maybe that's why Khabib resonates so deeply with people. Because while his record is perfect, his life is not. And in his imperfections, in his struggles, we see something profoundly human. So the next time you hear the name Khabib Nurmagomedov, remember this. Yes, he was a champion. Yes, he was undefeated. But beyond all of that, he is a man who fought wars far beyond the octagon. Wars with his body, with his mind, with grief, with expectation. And those are the battles that truly define him. If this story gave you a new perspective on Khabib, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of combat sports legends, and let me know in the comments. What surprised you most about his journey?